It's 4:20 somewhere, and right now that somewhere is here. Hello, I'm Janae Burris.
And I'm Jake Brown. Welcome to the Cannabist Show, where we talk all things weed.
We do.
Welcome back, Producer Vince.
Welcome back, Producer Vince. You survived. We missed you. Don was abusive.
Yeah,
kidding.
Producer Don. Quit starting crap back
We miss
there.
you, Dad.
How are you? What's going on?
I'm all right. I'm getting sick.
You're okay? That's
But
fun.
I'm all right.
All right.
How you
So
doing?
I'm shooting over. It's not being sick. That's my big
All
thing
right,
right now.
Let me have a sip of your drink here.
Okay.
And fix you up
just a
with
good
some
spit
sick.
take and scene. No, I'm going whitewater rafting for the first time since I moved to Colorado.
Why?
I'm not exactly sure. Hey, we're starting off with Class 4 rapids, and I don't know if those are.
Is that
See, that's what I'm like.
high?
Is it low or high?
Whoa, you should
It's-
find out before you go.
Is it like golf where you want lower, or is it like the other sport where?
Other sport?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun, though. Who you going with? You taking Tiny Dynamite? Thank you for the shirt, Tiny Dynamite.
Yeah, take me and my fiance, who's like very small, so I feel like I'm gonna have to carry the team, and I have like no upper body strength.
Oh, no.
So I'm just hoping that we have like
Oh,
some
gosh.
burly man that's taking us. I'm hoping for just a big burly whitewater rafting instructor.
That sounds like a great Kevin Bacon movie or something.
What do you have going on this weekend? Anything fun?
This weekend, what am I doing? I'm babysitting, you
Ooh,
know.
who's baby?
I have a couple babies. I watch them, trying to raise these white children right. Have a positive influence
Someone
on the
asked
world.
you. Oh yeah, so you got a couple babies in.
Yeah, a couple sweet babies. So
in
it
the
keeps me
hopper?
from having my own babies. It keeps the baby feels at bay. You just watch somebody else's kids, and then you're like, ugh. 24 hours later, ugh.
Do you ever get high before you watch the kids?
Never. Please don't even say that. No way. No way. You need to be firing on all cylinders when you're with these babies. So
How old are they?
they're baby age, like 18 months and 3. Just running age.
Okay.
Full high
As soon as
energy.
they can run.
Once they can run, it's like you better be able to run too. So.
All right, well, we're going to run into the week in weed, and let's start with Republican Senator and aging Stretch Armstrong doll, Orrin Hatch, who has announced new bipartisan legislation that aims, amongst other things, to expedite research on medical marijuana. Hatch said in a statement that it's quote-unquote high time to stop impeding research, but took his puns to the next level, noting how the federal government strains to enforce regulations. Yeah, kudos to the 20-something staffer that spun that gold. Now, while supporting a weed bill may seem out of character for the 7-term senator from conservative Utah, his home state was one of the first to legalize the use of CBD oil back in May of 2014. Still, the Meds Act proposed also requires the National Institute of Drug Abuse to come up with best practices for growing weed, even if most of the herb they currently distributes look more like a tumbleweed tried to grow a goatee. Janae?
You're like leaning forward trying to make sure you get all those words.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Here's a lot right here. Folks over at Fox and Friends, the conservative morning, yeah, we can boo them too. The conservative morning talk show on the Fox News Network wanted to talk to Dr. Emmett Oz about Ivanka Trump's pregnancies. Great, more Trump babies, more Trump people in the world. At least Ivanka is mixing up the gene pool a little bit, you know what I'm saying? If you can prove to me that there is no history of inbreeding in that family, Jake will eat my hat, okay? But as a show host, Steve Ducey, that's the white guy with the tie, not the other white guy with the tie, I get them confused. They attempt to wrap up the segment with the good doctor who rose to fame over a decade ago as one of Oprah's favorite things. Dr. Oz suddenly took control of the ship, taking a sharp left turn and quickly inserting this high-minded tidbit, quote, I talked about the opioid epidemic, but the real story is the hypocrisy around medical marijuana. As the Fox and Friends host, along with a nameless blonde lady they allow to sit quietly between them, looked on in silence, Oz continues, people think it's a gateway drug to narcotics. It may be the exit drug to get us out of the narcotic epidemic, end quote. Thank you, Dr. Oz, for leaving that golden nugget for Fox News viewers to ponder. The hosts are notoriously disparaging about medical cannabis use, and Dr. Oz, who is a widely respected physician and advocate for personal health, may offer just the right type of endorsement, which bridges the gap between conservative opponents and medical cannabis patients. Jake?
I couldn't believe when I saw that segment, and just Steve Ducey, or no, not Steve Ducey, the other white guy with the tie, just like, and blink.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta go.
I love how he just kind of snuck it in there.
Yeah, he was like
that, Dr. Oz, that was pretty pimpalicious of you.
I like that he comes to medical marijuana's defense after he has been like widely impugned for pushing all of these like bullshit things too. He's like, goji berries, weed, just drinking your own urine.
I think he's trying to find something good for people. He wants people to be well and try to find something other than pharmaceuticals to be well. So try to find superfoods.
He just saw those Gupta ratings and he's like, get me up to those Sanjay numbers.
I like what Dr. Oz is doing, and I think it's a good idea to have someone like that, because you know the image of the pot smoker, the cannabis user is, you know, the guy in the tie-dye t-shirt with the flat brim hat. Not you, producer Vince. You're cool. But, you know, you got Dr. Oz. I was hoping that either Oprah or Stedman would start advocating for weed. I thought they were good proponents, but
is Stedman still even in the picture?
Of course he is.
Well, I mean, not literally in the picture.
He's a silent partner. To the side of the picture always. Stedman knows his place.
All right, moving on. Universal health care remains one of the most divisive topics in the country. But what if your insurance paid for your weed? What if Geico had your hydro? A court case in the state of Maine will determine if that's legal after a man on workers' compensation says he prefers medical marijuana to narcotic painkillers. Now, he's already being reimbursed in the status quo by the insurance company for the paper mill in which he injured his back after winning a 2015 ruling by the state's Workers' Compensation Board. But the insurance company is pushing back. They're worried about federal laws, whereas Gaëtan Bourgeois, a very French name. I'm sorry, Mr. Gaëtan, if I didn't nail that one. But he's worried about his life on opioid-based painkillers, with his lawyer noting that, quote, at one point he was on such high dosages that they were concerned about his oxygen levels at night. His lawyer also noted that his client had become suicidal. Now, if there's one thing that we can count on, it's an insurance company doing right by the guy. Janae?
Jake, you're so funny lately.
Stop it.
Los Angeles races to get ready to be biggest legal marijuana market in world. Those races include Black, White, Pacific Islander, and Human.
Hundreds lined up in Arkansas this week to apply for medical marijuana business licenses, while thousands lined up for one job at Walmart.
A Columbus, Mississippi officer resigns after he's caught on body cam threatening a black motorist. The officer was recorded berating the driver for possible possession of marijuana and threatening to unload his firearm through the car. Perhaps if some of these trigger-happy officers suffered consequences for murdering citizens, they wouldn't be so brazen in their assaults. The officer was initially given a written reprimand by Columbus Police Chief Oscar Lewis, who had hoped he could salvage Officer Dowd like RoboCop or something. How do you salvage a human? Break him down and ship his spare parts to other precincts? There is a glitch in the hard drive. Just start over, okay? After a citizens committee reviewed the video and unanimously decided that this officer was straight garbage, Chief Lewis had to accept Dowd's resignation. Sorry, Jake, nothing funny about another black person being terrorized by police for normally ticketed offenses. I personally couldn't even watch the video. Can someone please make a strain specifically for black people to calm the PTSD we've all developed after suffering generations of terror at the hands of law enforcement? Somebody! We could call it I Have a Blue Dream, and it just numbs the rage for a little bit longer.
I knew you'd make it funny and also tragic, but funny too.
It's my thing, if you're into it.
Would he even have any weed on him, or was it just suspected weed thing again?
I think he smelled it. So he was like, I couldn't watch the video, I just read what he said, and he's like yelling at the guy, and don't take your hands off the wheel, and do you smoke weed?
Because you're on dope.
And also, I guess, the officer who murdered Philando Castile also used that as an excuse. This thing that, well, he smelled marijuana in the car. That's why he was so afraid of Philando. So it just kind of made me angrier reading it, but I really couldn't even watch the video because of the Philando Castile video.
Sure.
It's like, so...
Yeah, at what point do we stop seeing these videos?
When they stop making them, I guess.
When can people start smelling like weed? I smell like weed all the time. That's my privilege.
Back to the dog job thing. Hello, y'all. Another excuse to watch Dog Job.
Dog Job?
Our Dog Job video, because, you have the expectant... I'm getting sick, guys. My brain's broken.
I know they have all the
things I want to say.
All the dogs that are leaving the dog canine drug force work
Let's
thing.
just start over.
Now I
My
have
brain's broken. You're sick too. Great.
All right. For more on this and all of our stories from the Week in Weed, visit us online at thecannabist.co. Now we're going to go to another one of our perspective series about what's going on in cannabis in Colorado.
This is Alex Pasquarello, editor of The Cannabist and host of our new podcast, High Minded. This summer, the Cannabis National Business and Policy reporter, Alicia Wallace, has been untangling the complications of cannabidiol in our ongoing special report, CBD TBD. CBD is a non-psychoactive cannabis compound touted for its medicinal promise, but marijuana and hemp-derived extracts rich in CBD and low in intoxicating THC are facing a future yet to be determined. CBD TBD explores a regulatory and legal landscape pockmarked by federal-state conflicts and examines national drug policy, pioneering research efforts, and disparate avenues toward the compound's full legalization. On the first season of High Minded, Alicia builds on and extrapolates from her reporting to provide unique voices and in-depth storytelling that advance the conversation around this complicated cannabis compound. Follow High Minded on Twitter at HighMindedCast, and subscribe to the Cannabist Show podcast to make sure you don't miss our premiere.
High Minded is a story and serial interview podcast hosted by our editor Alex Pasquarello and Alicia Wallace, premiering soon from The Cannabist. Our guests today are Denver radio legends who just started their own 420 friendly morning show. Please join me in welcoming Kathie J and Larry Ulibarri to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Coming
Appreciate it a lot. Thank
I'm
you.
going to get a handshakes all around.
We're all going to get sick together.
If you're listening to the podcast, please go to the website. You missed some great handshakes.
No, for sure.
Is it great being back on air, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
There was like, I didn't think it really hit us until it actually happened when our non-compete kicked in. So we had like 3 months where we couldn't be on the air.
Right.
And so like, it was kind of weird. We're used to getting up at 3 in the morning, so.
Right. I got to sleep until 5:30.
Right.
Did your sleep schedule actually change?
Yeah,
You were
it
like,
did.
Look at
Nice.
this.
Right.
It did. It went in increments. So like we started sleeping until 3:15,
Yeah,
and then
right.
3:30,
And then you get the panic of like,
Right, your body
exactly.
going, we should be up by now.
Exactly, but it was a nice rest, and I didn't mind it, actually.
Yeah, no,
it was nice to
nice.
reset and get everything ready for what we're doing now.
Yeah, and so you had a show for over a decade with each other.
Yes.
Right.
And so you had a little hiatus, and then now you're back with Blazin Hits.
Yeah, Blazin Hit Radio. It's our own station. We own it. We partnered up with the Green Solution.
Yes.
And
the titans of cannabis
Yes,
here in Colorado.
absolutely.
The ones who do it
And
right.
probably elsewhere now.
Right. we thought like the #1 morning show deserved to be with the #1 dispensary, and they'd be good brands together.
Right.
And I happened to have a relationship with them at the time with my podcast. And when our contracts came up, they found out we were available, and they expressed interest. And so that really excited us because
Yeah.
our options were big corporate radio companies that were kind of taking what we had built over those years and started kind of changing it and chipping away at what we had built. So it was kind of hard for us to still be like, hey, we're those go-to employees that want to do whatever you say. But then we're like, you're changing everything, and this is
Yeah.
awkward.
Sure. Also, like if you Google Larry now, like the first thing that auto completes after your name is salary.
Yeah.
Oh, what a diva.
Tell me what he makes.
No. I guess people must have looked, because that does come up. I don't know why.
I'm curious too. You can tell, I'm going to Google you right now.
All right. So Green Solution, what are you doing? Like in stores? Do you have a studio? What's
Yeah, we have a studio at I-25 and Spear.
Yes.
And we put that together as our home base. It turned out it was actually perfect because part of the thing we wanted to do is have guests come by, and if we're having comedians or somebody that's in town doing a show, or artists, they can come to the studio, be interviewed, and then since it's a half residence, half business, that's what our location is.
Yeah.
We can smoke there. So we can actually accommodate people that wanted to experience cannabis the right way, and so it's just a lot of fun that way. If we were in a regular building like this, it'd probably be frowned upon.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you guys should move down the street from us, and you could do what we do.
It was kind of like just
Animal
like
House.
Right. It was kind of just like a dream come true because of the fact that the red tape of corporate America. It was just like getting tighter and tighter, and
Sure.
and for us to just all we wanted to do was entertain, and they didn't want us to talk as long because they had 10 minutes of commercials that they sold, and it was just like, we don't want to put our listeners through that.
Sure.
Right.
We just want to just entertain and laugh with them. So it was just like the best of both worlds came together, and now we're our own bosses, and I have my own bathroom. We're share with the fellas, but before it was like if I left my purse there, anybody was coming, 'cause
No, it's definitely, it's really cool. We got to reinvent what we did, and for years we heard, "Ooh, why do you guys play the same 10 songs in a row?"
Radio.
And then for years we heard, "We wish we could hear more of you." And so this allowed us to not only give them more of us, less commercials. In fact, right now we don't have any yet because we're on purpose. We want people to just really come in and enjoy the station. But when we put ads, it's not going to sound anything like where we came from.
Yeah.
It's going to be much more palatable.
And Kathie, so Larry already had a relationship with the Green Solution,
Yes.
and then here you come in and you go, "Hey, the old run and gun and maid over here."
Right.
But now is it cannabis themed, or what did you think about the kind of cannabis portion of all of this and the Blazin part?
Right. Well, I think that I don't know if you know, but this seems to be a really lucrative business. So they seem to be doing good. And I was a client, so I was like, oh, this is great. So it all came together, and it doesn't bother me because our show is the exact same show Larry and I had on the morning show, on the radio show. We didn't go into detail, but we would talk about cannabis on the morning show.
All right, I was pretty open to that. We were out of the closet.
I think
Morning shows are like one of the places on radio where people actually have conversations about cannabis.
For
Although
sure.
sometimes it can be a little like drive time. You're like, oh, look at this guy.
That's the problem is,
Right.
we knew so many morning DJs that would fake it, that would talk about it like they did it, and we were like, people see through that. I think that, and so we're so genuine about it that, half of Denver has smoked with Larry, so everybody was like, we know that they're authentic, that's our team. So, we know what we're talking about, so it's just part of life, which it is for most cannabis users. It's your part of life, and it's not like
It's our coffee, really.
Right, you don't focus on it, but it's always it's always around you.
Interesting. And you have 2 young ones, correct?
I do have 2 little girls.
And have you talked to the little girls about kind of like moving into the more of this cannabis space, or are they not at the cannabis discussion?
They're not at that space, but they've seen it.
Okay.
It's not like they've, it's not like I hide it from them, but they've seen it around, so it is what it is. It's, I grew up with, my father was a beer drinker every day. My first Spanish was una cerveza, por favor. So I was like, you're right, Papa, I will get you that beer.
So soon they'll become self-aware and they'll be like, Mom's going to the garage again.
No, they already know. They won't leave me alone.
Well, Larry, you actually have your own strain. You have been immortalized in cannabis history.
I was so lucky to have this relationship
I'm so jealous.
with the Green
I
Solution.
didn't even have one yet. I'm the pop critic for 3 years.
He's the top shelf. I'm going to go. I told Kyle, I want to just low grade.
She wants the rolls, the pre-roll.
Keep me real with the old Thornton kids.
Hers has stems in it.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, you old Thornton. Okay.
I lived in Thornton. That was too real.
That's too real.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But I'm sorry.
No. It was pretty exciting just to be able to be part of the process, and as we started to narrow it down to like 6 choices, really going through those strains and trying to figure out which one was better, and I was like, they're all amazing. So I was like, I would pretty much be happy with all of them. I was like, whatever advice they had to offer, to give me as far as what was going to grow better or what was going to, sell better and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah, and I think, it already sounds like you're a lot more engaged than most of the celebrity strains I've talked to.
Right.
Yeah,
whatever they said, I just put my name on. No, Larry tested a lot.
Yeah, for sure. It all got blurry after a while, but no, I think we ended up like it's a bubble gum and a blueberry combined.
Okay.
And so you really can't miss with that. It's a strain that like if you take a rip before you leave to go enjoy your night, it's with you for a really long time. So you don't have to go to the car or anything like that. It lasts a long time. If you've already been partying, it's the perfect thing to like segue you to the couch. It really is.
Speaking of things that have lasted a long time, I was listening this morning, and you have listeners that have grown up. That are, you had the one girl that called in this morning, and she's like, "Yeah, I used to listen to you with my parents, and now like I have my own apartment. You can come crash."
Sure.
Like, don't
Exactly. No, it's cool.
Like, how do you bridge the gap between kind of this old school listener base and now doing something that's more cannabis friendly? Or I mean, have you had any negative feedback yet?
No. I think it's like it's cool because what we found when we started coming back was that families were listening to us in droves, like so kids of all ages. And so like it's kind of we're the intergenerational show that entertained everybody and kind of kept everybody like they could laugh together. Like that lady said that her 11-year-old was cracking up. So I think that once we were off the air, people kind of were like pretty sad that bonding thing they had with their kids was gone.
Right.
And so I think it's cool that when somebody says, "Hey, I grew up listening to you and you guys are still funny," so
that's
it's
a compliment.
right. And so a lot of times shows will fade and they'll not age well, or they'll just do, but I think that we've just remained consistent, and we made their parents laugh, we're going to make them laugh, and we'll probably make their kids laugh.
Right.
Yeah, you guys do some kind of different sketches, songs.
We've opened it up, especially, without the confines of corporate radio. We can really have fun and do what we want.
Now, Janae, stand-up comedian, I, recovering stand-up comedian. Sometimes it can be a little hard to make pot funny because when it becomes so ubiquitous, how do you deal with that challenge of trying to take something where it's on one hand medical and very serious, and on one hand has this, kind of history of satire? Is one of you more the Cheech to the other Chong, or is there?
No, I don't think that we even address like that. And I think that's what is so great about our show. We might it might be cannabis and it might be with the Green Solution, but we still keep the show entertaining. So it's not stoners. Dude, I had this and I couldn't do that. And
but that's part of it. I mean,
but don't think that he doesn't have a character that sounds like that.
No. I know what you're saying. I think that we pretty much can tackle anything. Like we know when things are serious, and but we try to be the option for people that have don't really want to deal with super serious things.
Right.
But I mean, how can you not make fun of Trump? I mean, it's right there. But no, we definitely can incorporate humor into pretty much anything.
Yeah,
really.
sure.
Right, as you know.
Yeah.
You just have to find the funny. And sometimes you might offend, but
anything that except the
you're
tragedy,
uncensored, right?
Yeah,
you're your own bosses.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that we had the ability to be a little more uncensored, and we were. There was a possibility that we could maybe play the uncensored versions of songs, and then I think what we realized is that our audience still wants to listen with that family. Sure. And so I think if we had altered that recipe, we would have lost a lot of people that would have missed us but wanted to sacrifice their kids from hearing those certain cuss words too soon or whatever.
Right. Sure.
So I think we skirt the line and we get pretty blue, and when that lady said her 11-year-old got my jokes, I started to get worried.
We all did.
Kids are growing up way too fast.
Well, no, you guys have to appear all over town. You got all kinds of fun stuff happening. So let's say pot or not.
Okay.
All right, the way the game works, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to tell me if it's pot or not. It might sound like pot. It might be pot.
Okay.
And we'll play. You guys can each play. Let's see who can get the high score.
I'll ring the bell if you get it right. I am the bell monkey. I don't know.
You're not here to help me.
Like a poor little deaf, dumb girl. I just.
Okay, so you have a helper from Green Solution. You get one phone a friend. Who's helping?
That's Kyle. That's the CEO of the Green Solution. And so he better know everything.
I mean, that's why we brought him.
Right.
We don't want to lose Kyle.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, so number one, Alfalqua.
Not.
I'm going not.
You're correct. All right, that's a point apiece. Alfalqua was the Middle Eastern falcon ally of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Of course.
It's such a season 2 arc. All right, 1 point each. All right, number 2, Purple Haze.
Yeah.
Pot.
Yeah.
Pot is correct. 2 points each.
Yay.
See, that one explained you are not one of our
Right.
You're a noob. Sorry.
All right, number 3, Pooter River Punch.
Okay.
Pot.
I'm hoping that is. I just want to say it. Booter River Fund.
It is not. I'm sorry.
Dang
Shout out to
it.
my fiance for coming up for that.
I was going to say, that sounds like somebody that kicked you square in the ass.
We were saying it sounded like a sex move.
I thought you were going to say your lady part.
Oh, well, no. That's the Pooter River. That's in the back.
There's a location.
Yeah. All right, number 4, Golden State banana.
Pot.
It's got to be.
You guys gonna agree on all these? All right, fine, it is. That is correct.
If I was in San
Yay.
Francisco, I would want to smoke a Golden State banana.
Yeah, it's Ghost OG and Banana Kush Crossed.
Right.
It does come from California.
That's probably part of their
Surprise.
basketball team, right? The Golden State Bananas.
Yep. It's their mascot now. All right, number 5, Jack Herrera.
Not.
Yeah, sure.
Correct. It definitely is.
Right.
Wait,
Jack Herrera.
Who is it?
Are they competing against you?
Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
now we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of us
Kathy's
gets to
full
keep
to
the
head.
mug.
Jack Herrera, legendary cannabis activist, and his signature
And we have a
strain.
review
Oh,
of
nice.
it on our last week's episode.
Absolutely,
Oh,
go
cool.
watch that on Strained, coming to a TV near you.
Do you guys do your reviews, or do you have another expert?
I don't do it. I am not an expert.
Okay.
I just smoke whatever Jake tells me to smoke.
And I am the expert.
Nice. We'd like to be experts
I feel
with
you.
you. Yes, we should all get together and be experts.
Done. All right, number 6, Lost Sierra Night Nurse. Lost Sierra Night
I'm going
Nurse.
no.
Not.
It actually is.
Great. I could have got ahead.
They're getting
Okay.
out of control,
Kyle,
right?
you got to get more creative with your strains.
Night Nurse.
Night Sierra Night Nurse. What is it?
Lost Sierra Night Nurse. It's a cross of Romulan, Orange Pez, and Shishka Berry for the Night Nurse Collective.
What does it
Wow.
do? Like puts you
It
way
gets
deep
you.
to
So
sleep?
you're going to be in the middle of a desert. You're going to need some help.
Okay.
You'll never make it out.
This is a Ninja Turtle reference.
Right,
I
is this another
wish.
Ninja Turtle?
All right, number 7, Incredible Jack number 4.
Pot.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, yeah, I'd say pot.
It is not pot.
Wow.
Thanks to
Like, you think
Twitter
there's a 1, 2,
user
and a 3 before
at
it.
Jesse Gordon Blue for giving us that suggestion.
What was that again?
At Jesse Gordon Blue.
No, the strain.
Incredible Jack number 4.
that
so we're
was
sending
like-
you a T-shirt, Jesse.
Good
That
job,
was-
Jesse.
That was my 4th date I ever had.
Honorable mention to at Corey Healy for Blucifer Dreams. Blucifer Dreams. Somebody make that happen, please.
That's the horse, right?
Yep.
On your way out.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely be
That's
a
a good one.
Colorado strain.
All right, Kathy's still in the lead with 4 points to 3. Number 8, Tits.
Not.
Sir.
That's a kid from the movie It. Am I right?
We got to know. We have.
You know, God. I'd have to
It's
say.
real perky.
I'd have to say yes.
It is.
Shut up.
Ridiculous.
It actually stands for "This is the shit." It's an
Okay.
acronym,
Okay,
so
that's
it's,
hilarious.
and it was highlighted in this
Right.
season of Bong Appetit.
Right.
For anybody that's
Or I
watching
guess
love
the
that
most
show.
these are.
Right.
Right.
There's a kid in It, and he's the fat kid. And they're like, oh, the bullies are like, what's up, tits?
Have you seen
Poor
it?
kid.
No, you're ruining it for me.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
All right, we only have 2 more. All right, number 9, Blue Costello.
Pot.
Sure, yes.
It's not. That's a
It's
type
so
of
funny.
cheese.
Okay. Ew.
That's Whole Foods cheese.
Smells already.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, Kathy. Just to extend the lead, number 10, William H. Hazy.
I think it's very creative.
I'll say pot.
I'm going to go pot.
It is not.
Nice.
Well, we have our winner, Kathie J, with 5 points. Congratulations. All right, where can people find you guys online and check out the show?
Yeah, go to the App Store and type in Larry and Kathie, Kathie, and the app comes right up.
Yeah, it does. And then download the app and just kick it with us in the mornings and then throughout the day. So it's a full radio station. So throughout the day, there's more of his bits running, stuff
More
that we've done in the
clips of
morning.
the show. We run the show
And you guys
throughout
are
the
giving away
day.
a $2,000 gift
card for the Green Solution.
Yeah, so tonight,
That's like a
right?
month's supply of
Wait,
pot
what
for
am I
me.
gonna
I'm
do?
very excited.
Tonight, you have to come see us at one of our locations that we've been at all week.
Okay.
So tonight, Friday night, we're going to close everything at Trax Nightclub.
Oh, hell
at
yeah.
35th and Walnut. I love Trax. You
I
got
love
Trax?
that Trax.
I love Trax.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
Trax. So tonight's the last night for everybody to register to win it because you got to be present. I mean, you can't do it online or anything.
Tonight you can go to Dave & Buster's and
No. This is.
Oh, that's right.
That was Wednesday.
Right, exactly. So I forgot about the timeline continuum. The warp timeline.
So tonight, 7 to 9, we're going to be at Trax. It's free, so just come on in. You just have to show us that you downloaded the app.
And you get a free shot.
And we'll give you a free shot, and then we'll show you exactly where you can register for the $2,000 gift card from the Green Solution.
Trax is going to be a party.
We've asked people, we're like, so if you get that, are you going to go blow it out and then invite all your friends? And people are like, no, it's going to be like, mine. I know.
I'm weed rich.
I don't have to ask anybody, borrow from anybody for the next 6 months.
You take some weed to the strip club.
Bing, bing, bing.
It is money. It's still money.
I think legally you're only allowed to buy a certain amount at a time, so it'll sparse it out for you.
Disclaimer, Larry.
Take the 20. Take the 20.
Well, I mean, there are laws, people. Know the laws. Right, Kyle? Am I right? Thank you.
Thumbs up from Kyle.
26 annual payments of weed. Right? Make it last.
Make it last.
Janae, what do you have shows coming up?
October 6th, Great American Beer Fest. We're doing a big show with Pussy Bros at Rock House Brewery. Y'all come to that. And also October 28th is our big Halloween blowout, and I want y'all to come to that. And I'll be doing a couple of Halloween roasts at Comedy Works.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's my idea. It's scandalous.
Young Mike Jackson.
But I love it. Michael Jackson from Thriller, but it doesn't mean that everybody is it. You know the joke.
You can be Michael Jackson from Dangerous.
All right, and you can follow me online at FakeJakeBrown. Follow my Instagram. I just took a pair of men's boxer shorts and turned them into a halter top. Definitely have to see it to believe it.
What?
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, like I said, check out that Instagram. Thanks so much to Kathie and Larry for joining. Thanks to all of you at home for checking out the show. Don't forget, rate us, review us on iTunes or wherever fine podcasts are sold, and send us in those pot or not suggestions. Hashtag pot or not on whatever social media platform you use. For producer Vince, Janae Burris, and the whole Cannabist Show crew, I'm Jake Brown. We'll see you next week.
Say it again, ain't afraid to get in. I be going for the jackpot with aces in my hand, I'm raw.